Guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football. Welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. We are back with the content. We are dropping daily again. And I hope all of you are well. There was no video yesterday. Adjustments. It's a different environment, as you guys can see. Hence why the watch-alongs are going to be difficult. But we are here, so do not worry. Content is dropping daily, as normal. And before we get into the nitty-gritty and what we've seen today, I do want to take a moment just to talk about, if you have not heard, if you have heard, you've heard and you know. If you haven't heard, Angry Rant Man, who we're all aware of, about, and we all know and we all watch, fellow Chelsea fan, fellow Chelsea YouTuber, had some post-open heart surgery complications, and it seemed like things were a little edgy and not going so well as of earlier on today. But as of this evening, the latest is that he's in a stable condition and all for now is okay. So I'm just letting you guys know, if you don't know already, that he's been in hospital. He's had open heart surgery and there were complications, but fingers crossed all is well. So prayers out to Angry Rant Man, his family, and all his close ones and his loved ones, and fingers crossed he makes a full and speedy recovery, full of passion, aggression, and every single buzzword that we know that he has come to bless us with. So Angry Rant Man, speedy recovery, and we hope to see you back on these screens very, very soon. Now, Man United almost threw everything away earlier on today, which is no surprise. And as a result, it means that Chelsea once again have an opportunity. How many opportunities are Chelsea going to get this season to try and capitalise and try and get something? And then we throw it out the window and we throw it away. Now, it's funny because whilst I'm saying this, and I've told you the last few days, that I reckon we'll go and be Everton. In the comments, you guys have come into my comments and go, no, we're not beating Everton. Are you serious? Come on, Younes, we're not beating. And I'm meant to be the negative one. Listen, I think we'll be. I think we'll beat Everton. God knows with this football club, you just never know. But I understand the doubt. And obviously, you'd be foolish to not be at least a little bit doubtful, because we just like to throw results out the window. However, in the story that we've had this season, where we've played the bigger teams and we've ended up playing somewhat better, right? And then the little teams, we tend to throw it away. I think things are going to go back to type. I think this team, like this game against Everton on Monday, preview for that will be on here tomorrow. So make sure you guys are here for that one. But going into Monday, I think we'll win. It's at home. Would you win? Surely, against a team that we should be beating. Everton have their own problems. You never know if they're going to be fired up for it. But then it's after that, playing Man City in the Cup semi-final, playing Arsenal at the Emirates. Like, these are the games where I think we just don't have enough. We'll see though. We'll see who will be right. Let me know your thoughts down below. Let's get into the latest with Chelsea and what has happened today. It's been full of economics, right? We might as well have brought the Chancellor out for today, because the Chancellor should be doing this video, right? It's all numbers and finances and monies and budgets and FFP and PSR and ABC and XYZ. So we are going to get into it. Let's get right into it. Here is the latest in relation to... Is this a loophole? It's not really a loophole, but you'll understand why. Chelsea have somehow, by doing something which I think is causing a little bit of controversy, might have got themselves through the window in terms of FFP. Let's get into it. Chelsea selling a hotel to BlueCo, then spending £444 million on players whilst giving £75 million to agents. There's nothing in the latest accounts to allay concerns about PSR compliance in 23-24. This was from Liam Toomey earlier on to try and let people know that, this is a little bit... This doesn't exactly put everything to rest. £75 million were given to agents. It was by far, compared to all the other teams, in terms of fees given to agents in that financial year. On top of that, Chelsea didn't just sell one hotel. Chelsea sold two. And you know what those two hotels are? The Copthorne Hotel and the Millennium Hotel. If you go to Stamford Bridge, you'll see both of those hotels adjacent to each other. The Copthorne Hotel and the Millennium Hotel. Those have both been sold. The owners have sold it from the club to themselves, basically. Let's get into it. Chelsea owners have sold both the hotels on the Stamford Bridge site to another company they own, generating income to ensure they are PSR compliant. Let's keep reading. The two hotels on the Fulham Broadway side of Stamford Bridge, the Millennium and the Copthorne, were part of a large property portfolio that came as part of the deal to buy the club. The total deal cost the consortium £2.5 billion with an additional £1.75 billion pledged in investment. Now you're beginning to understand just how cheap this entire deal was. They bought the club for 2.5 billion. Yes, they've had to pledge 1.75 billion in terms of investment. That's we're over halfway there, ladies and gentlemen. $1 billion's already been thrown out of the window. Half of that is gone. Now they have a pledge to spend the rest. Whether that's going to be 750 million, 700 million, whatever the exact number is, but around there, we still need to spend because that's still going to be part of the investment. Now, that could technically also be part of the stadium redevelopment. Anyway, 2.5 billion was the fee to buy the club. They have now sold, which came part of the portfolio, the Millennium Hotel and the Copthorne Hotel from Chelsea Holdings Limited, I think it's limited. Chelsea Holdings Limited to BlueCo. They're two separate entities and they're two separate companies. The way that it's done is that BlueCo, that company, is the parent company of Chelsea Holdings. It's the ones that own Chelsea. But Chelsea itself has its own company, Chelsea Holdings. The hotels belong to Chelsea Holdings. Now the owners have basically shifted it from Chelsea Holdings, which they're the ones that are accountable to FFP, PSR. It's that company that needs to declare and comply with FFP and all of that. They just moved two hotels over to BlueCo. And they got away with it. They got away with it, and let's get into how. Here's Ben Jacobs. Now, he's come up with this entire thread, so go and read it, because if I read it, we're going to be here for about half an hour. I'm not going to do that. So to sum it up, how Chelsea are staying within P&S, profit and sustainability. Sold, two hotels to BlueCo for £76.3 million, which is allowed in the PSR calculations. £203 million in player sales in 22-23 with a net trading profit of £62.9 million. Mason Mount's transfer fee already on the books for next season. It wasn't included in 22-23, like we all thought. We were all told Mason Mount's money was put onto last year. It wasn't. It's going to go onto the books for this year. So I think that in and of itself is going to bring a little bit of the tension down. Because that's going to be, 50 million, there was 5 million add-ons. I don't think those add-ons are going to be triggered. So 50 million. Anyway, let's keep reading. All signings from January 2023 agreed to have a salary cut if the Champions League wasn't achieved. So all those players now that signed that are not going to be playing Champions League football, before signing, agreed to taking a pay cut if we don't qualify for the Champions League. We knew about this. But that's going to be triggered because we're not going to be playing Champions League. So there's that. And £100 million in sales targeted this summer to help fund 3 to 4 key signings this summer. That is what Ben Jacobs has come out with and clarified in terms of Chelsea's financial situation. I have to be honest, right? I'm going to be completely clear. Now, after reading all of that, I think we're going to be okay in terms of FFP. Going into 23-24. So when the accounts for this year come out, by June 30th, I think we're going to be okay, right? The problem that there is, selling 2 hotels is a loophole. Now, it's a loophole that technically isn't really a loophole. And why? Let's show you why. Here's Martin Ziegler saying Chelsea's wage bill soars to £404 million as financial frailties exposed, with losses only reduced by a £76.5 million deal selling hotel buildings to a sister company. We've clarified this. Todd Boehly insists that the club will comply with PSR for the foreseeable future. We'll have to raise a lot of money from sales before the end of June. That does still need to be done, and I'll explain why, because it also did come out that the Ziyech money, Lukaku money, Kepa money, if those are not fees over a certain value, we're going to be making losses on them. Lukaku, for instance, if we don't sell him for more than 37 million, we don't actually get profit. we take a loss. And the same applies to Ziyech and to Kepa in relation to their individual fees as well. So it's not just sell and we'll be okay. Mason Mount's pure profit, that'll be okay. But the others, nah. Now, who are we going to have to sell? Gallagher, pure profit, obviously. The deal for Maatsen will be triggered. Lewis Hall's been triggered, but that's already been calculated. So in terms of what Chelsea need to do, it's still going to be tight, but I think we might just get over the line. Now, this has only been done because we sold those 2 hotels to BlueCo. They sold it to themselves, basically. This is the latest in relation to that. And is it legal or not? Because I know others are going to be looking and going, it's illegal, that shouldn't be done. Well, here it is. Sounds like the Premier League raised the issue of closing loophole around selling assets to related companies in 2021. But there was opposition from some clubs, so it never went to a vote. The EFL has closed that loophole. So the English Football League, the Championship, League 1, League 2, the Football League that run those divisions, they've already shut that. You can't do that in those divisions. The Premier League, though, they wanted to try and do that. There weren't enough clubs to vote for it. It never went to a vote because of that. You can still do it. So Chelsea decided to sell the 2 hotels over from Chelsea to BlueCo. Now, I've got to be honest. We might get away with that for now. But that's not going to carry us forward into the season after and the season after that and the season after that, which is why it's absolutely crucial to be playing some sort of European football. Not Conference League, though. Europa League onwards. Europa League, Champions League. This is why it's incredible. We cannot go into next season not qualifying for the Champions League, man. We just can't. Why there's so much emphasis on being able to perform and hit a standard is because of this. You go too far back, you're finished. The hotels has kind of bought the club time, I think. But it's a little bit of it's a scummy move. But it's a business move. And to them, they just want to make money. And for them, they're not going to care. And I have to be honest, in their shoes, yeah, it's a business opportunity. Now, I don't know what the fine print, the blueprint, the fine print is. What is the fine print in relation to those deals? Those 2 hotels have now gone to BlueCo. Does it mean that those 2 hotels now don't belong to Chelsea whatsoever? Is Chelsea Football Club and those 2 hotels 2 separate entities now that belong to BlueCo? Because BlueCo can exist for however long it wants. Even if BlueCo were to sell Chelsea Football Club in the future, BlueCo can still remain. That's still BlueCo. BlueCo is the consortium of Todd Bowley, Egbali, Feliciano, Clearlake Capital, Wiss, all those guys. They can still run businesses together under the BlueCo name if they want. BlueCo is just a name. It's a company. So if they were to sell Chelsea in the future, they get to keep the hotels. That's what I think anyway. Anyone wants to correct me on that, please feel free, because we're not economists up in here. But I'm just trying to think on a common sense level. They have moved those 2 hotels from the Chelsea company to the BlueCo company. It's no longer part of Chelsea. This is my point. Now, we also have to acknowledge this might end up being a bargaining chip for them to use if there's complications surrounding the new stadium. Because if we're going to build a new stadium, those hotels got to go. So regardless, like if we're building a new stadium, the hotels, everything's got to be demolished. So those hotels won't survive, which means that technically they've not really done anything here except just a loophole in terms of FFP. So if that's what's going to happen, then fair enough, we've got nothing to talk about. But if a stadium rebuild doesn't happen, they've just bought themselves 2 hotels. Shifted it from the club to themselves. In a time where they're not meant to be taking profits out of the football club. Do you understand this? These are the business deals that we don't get exposed to, that we don't know about, whereas this was done from day one. They got away with this time ago because they were allowed to, and it's legal. They've not broken any rules. So this is where it gets sticky. But I think Chelsea have bought time. I think these owners have now bought some time in terms of FFP. But we got to be careful what the complications are going to be going into next season. This season's books by June 30th, we might get away with. Next season now, we got to be playing European football. We have to. It's as simple as that. So, let me know your thoughts on that. Much appreciated. Apart from that, there's nothing else. Apart from that, there's really nothing else. There's football going on. We saw Man United earlier. Tottenham got absolutely destroyed. Holy you know what. 4-0 to Newcastle at St. James's. Destruction. We'll see what happens in terms of the rest of the other teams, the rest of the league, the title race and whatnot. But now going into Monday, so just to clarify what the situation is for Chelsea, it means that Chelsea are now sitting 6 points behind, if I'm not mistaken. 44 points, 6 points behind Man United in 7th, 6 points behind Newcastle in 6th. However, Newcastle have a much superior goal difference to us, whereas Man United don't. West Ham are 4 points ahead of Chelsea, which means regardless of what happens, Chelsea will still be in 9th, even if we beat Everton. But we'll still have a game in hand. Now that game in hand, we've got to play Arsenal, we've got to play Tottenham, we've got to play Brighton. Those are the games that were moved in terms of schedule because of our cup competitions. So those are the games that we have to win. It's a big ask. It's a big ask. Now, we've put ourselves in that situation. However, we've been given another flipping lifeline. Another one, as DJ Khaled would say. Man United have bottled it to an extent. Now it's up to Chelsea to capitalise on Everton. I will get into the preview for that tomorrow. So make sure you guys are here for that. Much appreciated. I will catch all of you then. Let me know your thoughts on this whole hotel debacle. The FFP, PNS, whatever you want to call it. PSR, ABC, XYZ, whatever you want to call it. Let me know down below. Much appreciated. And I will catch all of you tomorrow for a brand new one. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you are new. I'll see you tomorrow, people. In a bit. Take care and peace.